All right, today's reaction is gonna be from Nexus, their channel on YouTube. I was looking for stuff to react to, and I saw this. I thought it looked pretty cool, so I'm gonna react to it. And this is Batman versus Michael Myers. I'm looking forward to this one. I like Michael Myers and I like Batman. It's a great combination. And I like the last two Halloween movies, but after a while, shit. After a while, hopefully I don't get fucking dinged for that. Having a fucking logo. The last Halloween movies, Halloween Kills and Halloween Returns, or the last two Halloween Kills, I thought they were good. Here's the thing with Halloween. Michael Myers was before just a human, just a brother trying to kill his sister. A brother that put on a Halloween mask and grabbed a knife and tried killing his sister any way he could, getting to her. And the one thing that got to me that he never ran and he didn't basically didn't drive anything. He just always used a knife. Use a gun, he didn't use a chainsaw or nothing. And but how is it in all the movies? He always seems to catch up with them, stays up with them and stuff. He just walks. I mean, as far as the man goes, he speed walks, but that's it. At least he's getting his cardio in. I like the last Halloween it came out, but the thing is, they started playing it out like he's immortal. Like, it doesn't matter if you try to cut his head off, you shoot him, you stab him, cut it, shoot him, put him in a meat grinder, he's still gonna come back. He's basically fucking Jason Voorhees or Freddy Krueger. You can't kill him. But I bet you at some point they're gonna end up making a Halloween movie. But after sequel after sequel after sequel after sequel, it didn't do good. Like Rob Zombie, Rob Zombie Halloween movies. His movies didn't do too good. I didn't care for them a little too much. But anyways, let's check out this short Batman versus Michael Myers. Go check out his channel, The Nexus. I tried to email him, see if I can react to his stuff, but he don't have an email account, so whatever. Ah, it's dope.
He's headed straight for the trap. Time to move.
Batman's contingency plan.
There are things that even science can't comprehend. I've faced gods, demons, and creatures that defy physics, but this being is different. Michael Myers, evil in its purest and most silent form. He doesn't speak, doesn't react, doesn't feel. And maybe that's the true terror. The absolute void behind the mask. I've studied every one of his appearances, every movement. He walks as if time has no effect on his body. No racing heartbeat, no adrenaline rush. It's like he's a walking corpse, sustained only by a force that doesn't belong to this world. I recovered biological fragments left at the crime scenes. His blood. It doesn't behave like human blood. The cells don't die. They regenerate, even outside the body. No toxin, no known biological agent reacts to them. It's something that transcends biology and maybe touches the supernatural. With every analysis, I noticed a constant. The evil in him isn't symbolic. It's organic, running through his veins like a virus that
Did you know the Michael Myers Halloween mask is actually a William Shatner? They just spray painted it white. I don't know if y'all know that, but
erases any trace of humanity and replaces it with pure killer instinct. If he's a contagion, then he needs to be treated like one. And to contain something like that, I'd have to go beyond science. I'd need to understand evil as energy and learn to break it at the root. I realized that Michael Myers isn't a physical anomaly. He's a manifestation, a channel where something older and darker projects itself into the physical world. If I wanted to defeat him, facing him head-on wouldn't be enough. I'd have to exercise him in a scientific way. I started by analyzing the electromagnetic energy generated in Haddonfield on the days of the attacks. There are spikes, fluctuation patterns, something that resembles paranormal interference. This energy seems to react to his presence, as if the environment itself warps to keep him alive. So I developed the Morphic Frequency Resonator, a device capable of identifying and isolating energetic vibrations associated with pure evil. Everything vibrates. Even hatred has a signature. If I can pinpoint the exact frequency that sustains Myers, I can shatter it and disconnect the entity controlling him. Technology.
You have to be filthy rich to be Batman. You couldn't be Batman being broke. Matt, look at all the gadgets he has in his suit and all this stuff. Like Robert Pattinson. Robert Pattinson's suit was dope. I think that's the best suit he has. I think I pretty much said that in all my reaction videos.
Alone, however, wouldn't be enough. Myers' essence operates on a level that borders the metaphysical. That's why I consulted the files from my time in Nanda Parbat and analyzed the grimoire I recovered. Its text spoke of rituals for nullifying the animic echo. I took the diagrams and translations to Zatanna. She confirmed, the ritual doesn't destroy the entity, but breaks its connection to the host by generating an opposing spiritual resonance. The concept was mystical, but the principle was applicable. If evil has a frequency, I could engineer the anti-frequency. An exorcism, yes, but a scientific one. To stop something like Michael Myers, it's not enough to build a trap, you have to design a containment ecosystem. A space where every molecule works against the enemy. I called the project Operation Silver Veil. The first phase begins with creating a neutral zone, completely isolated from Earth's electromagnetic field. An underground lab shielded with lead and titanium plating, covered in laser-etched runes, sealing symbols translated from the grimoire, a blend of science and magic. Logic and superstition united for one purpose, to contain the impossible. At the center of this structure, I installed the Morphic Frequency Resonator, the core. It emits inaudible sound waves that reverberate at the frequency opposite to the energy sustaining Myers. The idea is simple. If he's fueled by a malignant vibration, then I'll make it collapse in on itself. And as always, there's a contingency for the contingency. If the resonator fails to fragment his essence, the final protocol would activate, a localized quantum field collapse, trapping him not in suspension, but in a 1-second time loop, forcing his consciousness to relive the same instant forever. A drastic solution, but necessary. Around the resonator, a ring of autonomous drones equipped with non-lethal weapons, thermal sensors, and anesthetic nanomist. The plan is to lure Myers to the center of the structure, let him believe he's hunting, when in reality he's being herded. No escape, no chance. Luring Michael Myers into the Silver Veil requires more than technology. It demands patience and a clinical understanding of what drives him. He doesn't chase victims out of anger or pleasure, he pursues a pattern, an echo. So I created the perfect echo. I used the Black Oracle to compile every sound, scent, and shadow from Haddonfield. Then, I synthesized those memories in layers. Holographic projections that recreate facades, olfactory devices that release specific aromas, and directional speakers that play back familiar footsteps and whispers. The fake city isn't just visual, it's sensory. Every street is programmed to reinforce the illusion. But Michael isn't an ordinary animal. He tests reality with small rituals, locked doors, broken windows, the silence between clocks. For that, I inserted behavioral hooks, strategically placed familiar objects, a lamp that flickers in the exact pattern that preceded his previous attacks, a doll lying exactly where his oldest memories converge. He follows patterns. I use them as chains. Meanwhile, thief drones map his responses in real time. The Black Oracle calculates deviations and reconfigures the holographic city's route in seconds. If he hesitates, the replica shifts. New shadows emerge. Doors that were open before now close. Sounds that came from the right now come from the left. Confusion is the most powerful tool. A predator that doesn't recognize its territory becomes vulnerable. And finally, the entry sequence. Corridors that subtly narrow, directing his march. Floors that vibrate lightly to sync his steps with the resonator's timings. Everything leads to one point, the core of the Silver Veil.
Man, he has it all set up. He's gonna get him, man. Laura Strode didn't even think of this shit when she tried to kill him. Batman has it all figured out.
No obvious traps, just the feeling of returning home. That feeling is the bait. And when he crosses the threshold, the world around him will start to crumble. When Michael Myers crosses the threshold of the Silver Veil, his world starts to unravel. The resonator's core activates its initial pulse, inaudible sound waves, vibrating at the inverse frequency to the energy sustaining him. It's subtle at first, almost imperceptible, a tremor in perception, a chill down the spine. He doesn't understand, but he feels something wrong. Meanwhile, the drones adjust the environment in real time. Corridors stretch and shorten slightly. Shadows multiply. Reflections appear where they shouldn't. The floor vibrates in calculated patterns to sync his march with the resonator's pulse. Every step he takes increases the instability of his own essence. Michael doesn't hesitate, but every action is predictable. He reacts instinctively to the environment's stimuli, following the patterns I've learned to anticipate. The confusion is amplified by holographic projections of multiple Myers, as if he's surrounded by echoes of himself. He attacks shadows, passes through illusory walls, but doesn't realize the real trap is invisible. His own energy is being drained and fragmented. The resonator works in layers. The first just distorts perception. The second starts creating microfissures in the energy keeping him alive, and the third sinks those fissures with the seals etched around the core. Each fissure is a vulnerable point, a fragment of his essence that can be isolated. At this moment, Myers is no longer just physical. He's an unstable projection of pure hatred, and I have control over the space he believes he dominates. He still walks, still attacks, but every attempt at resistance is calculated, every movement an opportunity to deepen his containment. He's walking into his own nightmare, and I'm the architect of every shadow that imprisons him. With each wave from the resonator, the fissures in his essence become visible only to me, in the Black Oracle's analysis. He still moves, still tries to strike, but the reality around him doesn't match his actions. Every act of violence he attempts falls out of sync, as if he's trapped between dimensions. It's at this moment that I activate the secondary seals. Runes etched around the core sync with the quantum pulse, creating a partial containment field. Michael Myers is still physical, but his essence starts to dilute. He's reduced to fragments
Man, Batman ain't screwing around.
of consciousness that can no longer reassemble. To reinforce the effect, I disperse a mist made of monitoring nanoagents. They don't harm, but they alter his perception of space, heightening the confusion and limiting reflexes. Every move he makes, every misstep, is an opportunity to strengthen the net imprisoning the energy that sustains him. The goal isn't to kill him, or even physically harm him. It's to fragment what makes him invincible, making him vulnerable to definitive containment. When the fragmentation reaches its peak, Myers is ready to be transferred to quantum containment. It's not an ordinary cell, it's a structure that interacts directly with his essence's frequency, sealing each fragment in a state of perpetual suspension. Every seal, every energy field, every quantum pulse was calibrated to neutralize any attempt at reassembly. Here, science and mysticism meet. Ancient artifacts integrated into the structure convert residual hatred energy into a shielding field, ensuring no physical or spectral attack can penetrate. The silver veil collapses around him, and the drones seal the core, converting every remnant of movement into data that feeds the Black Oracle for constant monitoring. Michael Myers isn't destroyed. He's contained, sealed inside a prison that transcends time and space. Every fragment of his essence is now bound to the containment structure, unable to reassemble or escape. The question is no longer whether he can be stopped. It's whether anyone could comprehend what we've created to contain absolute evil. When it's all over, I stand alone before the quantum cell. Michael Myers is contained, but not defeated. His essence hasn't vanished. It's just been reorganized, divided, and sealed. The silence is absolute, but it carries the weight of all the violence he's spread. There's no relief, no satisfaction, just understanding. There are evils that exist beyond human comprehension, and to contain them, you have to go beyond what we call reality. As I watch the data on the Black Oracle, I realize this isn't the end. Every fragment of Myers is a reminder that evil persists in forms we can't measure. Technology was essential, scientific analysis indispensable, but it was patience, strategy, and understanding what he represents that ensured he was contained. I've learned that we can't underestimate something that transcends logic, something that defies even what we consider impossible. Every trap, every calculation, every mystic seal was designed with precision to maintain order where none seemed possible. And yet, there's an unease, a pulse of energy indicating he exists somewhere, in some fragment, waiting. Maybe there's no perfect way to eradicate absolute evil, but there is a way to face it and contain it. That's the line separating those who merely survive from those who can protect the innocent. Michael Myers is contained, but the work never ends. There's always vigilance, always preparation. Because evil doesn't rest, and neither can I. I archived the report. Status: incomplete. Containment: active. Vigilance: permanent. Michael Myers is a force that defies understanding, and any simplistic approach would be useless. What I've done here isn't just capture him, it's create a structure where he can no longer interfere with the world of the living. The question the Black Oracle can't answer remains: what happens when you imprison a force of nature? We don't destroy it, we just take it out of sight, and I need to know what else to prepare for.
Yeah. I'll say Batman had it pretty much all figured out. Batman ain't playing around. That's my reaction to the Nexus. Check out the channel and subscribe to my channel and hit the ding bell, please. That would help out a lot. This was pretty good. I like the animation. I like Michael Myers and I like Batman. This was Batman versus Michael Myers. Thank you for watching.